Okay. All right.
Okay, Luke. Hey, thanks for joining me today. I was hoping we could just have a quick conversation about the effects of the pandemic and social isolation on youth.
Absolutely.
Could you give me a little bit of info, like what's your background and how did you get into the line of work that you're in?
Yeah. So, to answer that, two parts. One, I got into working in mental health, which is what I do for as a profession, as a private practitioner. It was kind of an early draw for me, I would say, like as a young college student, just kind of felt like I was kind of wired to be able to listen and help. And so that's kind of the path that I went on. Working with youth in particular has just been something that has been, I guess, where my heart has always been, to help people. I look at children and young adults as an investment in our future and in whatever community we're in. So,
Yep.
and then when it comes to Big Brothers Big Sisters, it just kind of tied right in
How did you
with
get
what we
involved
do.
with Big Brothers Big Sisters?
Originally, I was invited to guest speak for the school-based program, and talk to the bigs, which were high school bigs, about how to work with difficult littles, or difficulties they were having with their littles.
Okay.
And from there, I had never really known anything about the agency, and I fell in love with what was happening. And so I just jumped on the board, head first, I guess you could say.
And now you're our past president.
Yeah, now I'm the past president.
You're on
Yes,
the fast track from
I did.
guest
Very fast.
speaker to president. So,
Very much
and
so.
that's actually really good lead in to how your mental health background has helped us as staff in the office when we have situations that we aren't necessarily equipped to deal with, but also the high school students that we help mentor, the little kids in the Laurel area. So do you feel like that your background has been a big contribution in helping shape that our organization locally is today?
I always hope that, Amy, but I'm constantly critiquing my own self, if that makes any sense.
As we all
So,
do. We all
so
do.
I definitely have hoped for that, and my evidence in that it has definitely been in the conversations I've had with staff, since I've been on the board for the last, I'm going on my fourth year now,
Yep.
in regards to questionable situations that might pop up, or how do we deal with this situation, and being able to kind of come alongside staff, come alongside even the bigs, at times, and just offer hopefully a piece of wisdom for them navigating their difficulty.
I can tell you from the staff perspective, it is nice to have someone who we can bounce questions and situations off of. I mean, my background is fundraising and event planning, not necessarily mental health. So it's nice that we have this network of people that we can pull from.
Yeah, I
So,
really like that too, Amy, not to cut you off, but that it really is a village. And I love that Big Brothers Big Sisters in particular operates from that mentality. It seems like operates from that mentality. It takes a village to make this program work. You're gathering, and you as an executive director, as well as the staff, have been so great about, if they don't know an answer or you don't know an answer, you're like talking to this person.
yep,
I think that's been really important.
yep. So mental health so September is Suicide Prevention Month. It's Prevention and Awareness Month, which is really interesting in the fact that we're also celebrating Big Brothers Big Sisters Month, and we're dealing with the effects of this pandemic on the
Yeah.
kids that we serve. And a lot of the kids want school shut down in March, and if their parents or who the parent or guardian that they were living with, if they have some underlying condition, they may not have seen anybody
Yeah.
since school let out in March. So in your line of work, what are some of the effects that you're seeing as far as social isolation in youth and how they're dealing with it?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I want to say what I've seen has been both growth in certain areas for not only the youth, but also the parents, but also some increase in difficulties. I don't want to like make this all sugar coated, the reality is I've seen increased in depressive symptoms. You know, kids and families that tend to isolate prior to the pandemic, now they're doing that even more.
Yeah.
You know, and as far as the effects that that's having on productivity, however we want to label that, whether that's school functioning, work functioning, it's definitely, I think, increased the difficulty to get past some of that.
Well, and I think you and I have even had that conversation.
Yeah.
We're working adults. We have a professional life, and even in the most well-adjusted situations, this has been rough.
Yes, I agree with you.
It has been
I,
tough.
I don't think that I've been using this phrase with my clients recently, that it's a universal COVID fatigue. Everyone's going through it, even the clinician
Yes.
who's
Yes.
sitting across from a client that's struggling.
Yes.
And I'm a huge believer in let's not dysregulate. Let's call it what it is, so that way we know what we're dealing with, right? And so I'm always very honest with my people that I see that this has been very difficult. You know, I never anticipated that I would be doing therapy sitting at my kitchen table.
Right. Right.
This has become my office. I miss the clinic setting, but at the same time, there's still such a significant, if not even more of a need that people have to have connection.
So that's a really good point, because one of the things that when we all started shutting down in March, you know, big brothers, big sisters, the point of the relationship is to have a one-on-one mentor and mentee relationship. And what we encourage our bigs to spend about 4 to 8 hours a month with their littles doing things together that they enjoy. How do we do that virtually? I mean, again, you and I have talked about some of this. You have been doing telemed for the last several months, which you never expected to have to do, but has it been effective?
That's a great question. I've seen it be effective with some, and I've seen it become more, it's a challenge, honestly, at times. And I've had to step outside of my box of what I'm used to doing when it comes to engaging a young person and really get creative. So there's times where I've done weird videos, right? And then we talk about it.
And they're funny. I love them.
And I've had to, like, I wear wigs, or I put on a weird puppet show, or I have my dogs that are interacting. And it's things that I would never have necessarily done before, but I've had to almost like put that creativity juice on overdrive to engage, especially the elementary age kids.
Yep.
So, you know, 6 to 12, they can maybe focus on a computer screen like we are right now for like maybe 15-20 minutes.
Yep.
And I'm looking at hour sessions. So it's like, how do I make this work?
It's hard.
Another thing, it is so hard. And that's like, I can't imagine it for our bigs. Like, that's got to be incredibly difficult.
Yeah.
The other thing that I found that's been really helpful is I've gone back to doing some snail mail. Like, I get the kids' addresses and I do weird stuff like color them a picture, and then they color me a picture. And so it's like, we're not physically, you know, seeing each other, but there is sort of that physical touch, or that personal touch, if you will, that I think has enhanced the relationships.
And of course, that's one of the things we've seen, is that our bigs have struggled trying to figure out how to keep that connection. But also our parents and guardians of the littles have struggled too, because they may be trying to work from home. They're overloaded with Zoom calls and meetings. So just some of those simple things that we don't think about, like writing a note. I have my big brothers, big sisters note cards right here, and I've been writing thank you notes. And it's kind of a lost art. So even in this time when we're doing everything virtually, we're still going back to some of those things that we maybe have let go for some time.
Yeah, I like how you said that, Amy, because I think it's almost, I don't know, it's kind of nostalgic to some extent. Like, you know, as much as I'm so grateful for technology, because I would not be able to do my job, nor would we as an agency be able to continue to do what we do. I I also have really enjoyed phone calls. I've enjoyed the letters back and like letters back and forth. My fridge is full of like pictures and drawings, and I have your card that you sent me. It's sitting right in front of like it's been good for connection.
Well, and I mean, my family lives in Georgia and I'm in Montana. And I never really thought about us connecting virtually like this because, I mean, why would we have needed to do that? But now we can. So
Exactly.
one of the things that, since it's Big Brothers Big Sisters month, next week we're going to focus a lot on being a mentor during this virtual age and some ideas and things and how it can still be impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a board meeting last night, and I think we said we have 20 probably kids on our waiting list
Yeah.
in the Billings area. But we're in an interesting situation in Laurel in that we need littles. So we have the bigs, but now we need the littles. So we're in recruitment mode on both sides, bigs and littles. So I guess to wrap this up, do you feel like even during this time that's so strange that being a big is still very important?
I mean, I don't mean to like, and I know I'm biased, right? Like, one, I'm a board member. Two, I'm a mental health professional. But I can honestly say that I think that now more than ever, I think a young person benefits from a connection outside of their home.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
that's with virtual learning, with not going to places, not being involved in, I might have been able to be involved in the past. Now more than ever, being able to have a different human come in and go, hey, how's it going? Like, yep. Can I show you my dogs? Can I like, do you want to go for a walk with me while I make popcorn on the stove? Like, if we can engage that way, it can be show me some cool stuff you've been doing, all of those things. I think it just jumpstarts that stagnation, that fatigue that I think everybody's experiencing.
I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You're welcome. Thanks for inviting me here. Yeah. I'm really honored to do this.
Yeah, so. And I think we're going to try to start doing some more of these videos and talking about different topics and issues and situations. Some of them might be more funny than others, but some of them, of course, are more serious. So thank you for being our first participant.
Well, and on that note, Amy, I just have to say that humor is definitely what has gotten me through the pandemic and will continue to. Yes. When I start to get super sad over something, I flip on the radio and we have a dance party in the living room with my 3 dogs. Like, you know, I make a funny video. I'm able to laugh at the little things now that I may have missed when I was in the just day in, day out of working normally, so to speak. So humor's huge. I think that's a big one. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks for the invite. I appreciate it.